Hello and welcome to PAXTON Road TV. I am Sam Spurs for Life and this is your preview show for the match. Newcastle United versus Tottenham Hotspur, which is kicking off tomorrow, St James's Park, 4:30. And in the house, Paxton Roaders, Paxton Road people. We have Mike Hotspur Hustler, we have Sean H, and we have Sid Spurs. Welcome to the show after another what feels like 7 years of no real football. Welcome back to the Premiership, gentlemen. How are we doing? Are we all good? How's things?
Yeah, mate, all good. Looking forward to the return of Premier League football. The international break's a bit of a farce, really, when considering what just seems to be a regular occurrence whenever players return from the international scene.
Oh yes,
so
we have ultimate fun in games. When Spurs, like a lottery, what comes back. You send players out, you don't know what comes back. And we'll get into that in the show. But it's going to be good. It's going to be very interesting. So let's start straight away and come back to you first, Mike. So again, after what feels like a bit of a long international break, it does seem like a long one. The question I want to ask then, what are you expecting from the game tomorrow?
Is that aimed at me first? It is.
It is.
What am I expecting tomorrow? I'm expecting. Well, it's obvious it's going to be a packed house. Newcastle, they've got what they wanted. They've got Mike Ashley out of the club. They've got new owners in, multi-billionaire owners. So I think it's going to be, from a football player perspective, it's going to be an incredible atmosphere to play in. From Tottenham's perspective, they could be entering the unknown, but it's one of these, isn't it? Like, these players, they're professional footballers. They've probably been in hostile situations before, where the opposition, or the playing away, opposition's got a packed house. It's a hostile environment. Newcastle are going to be up for it, I'd assume, but still, Steve Bruce is in charge, so I'm not expecting miracles here. So. Yeah.
I think that may have been a bit of a blessing having Steve Bruce in charge. I'm not sure if they were really going to get rid of him that quickly, because who would they have brought in unless they had something already lined up? Let's come to you next, Sean. So what are you expecting from the game tomorrow?
I'm a Spurs fan of too many years, and you hope for the best and expect the worst. I mean, we're going to a team. Yes, they've suddenly become, flush with cash, but they're 19th in the table, and we need to go and beat them and remind them that, just because you've got new owners doesn't mean that you've got a good team. And we've got a pretty decent record, I would say, at St James's Park. I mean, I did go to that atrocious 5-1 last day of the season defeat, but we should go there pretty confident that we can win this. Let's go and be the party poopers. Let's let the billionaires know that they haven't got there yet. Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs! Whilst we've got the time, Sid. Now that we've seen you, we saw a card chair there. I was going to introduce a card chair, but now I can introduce you, Sid. Welcome back to the show. What's your thoughts for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm gonna say, we're going to be the party poopers. Let's go there. Everyone's going to be all hyped up about this billionaires boys club that they've joined. And I've said this before, it's not going to be an instant fix for them. I think the biggest celebration for them, guys, is the fact that they've got rid of Ashley finally, and he's not going to be present at the club. So it's all going to be celebrations of them. We've just, we've got to go there and just put everything out of their heads. We've got to go there, and we're playing a Premiership game. We need 3 points. We're away from home, and that's all we've got to go there. Let them do whatever they want to do. I think the way he's been treated, I think it's disgusting. But you know what? Let him take the team. Let him manage him, and we've just got to go there. Nuno's got to do a job, and we've just got to turn up and got to get the 3 points. I'm not really, I'm not buying all this rubbish about they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. They're not. It's not. They've not got the money in their pocket tomorrow, have they? It's a 5 to 10 year project. So we go there, we turn up, we play football, we win the game, we come home, job done.
So do you think, does anybody think that this Newcastle takeover is going to have, I put it down as being like a new owner bounce as opposed to a new manager bounce? Do we think that there's going to be ultimately anything that these players may be playing for? Even Steve Bruce himself. I know we've looked at Steve Bruce as a manager that we kind of, I wouldn't say in the top echelon of management abilities, but certainly he's been very experienced. I think he's coming up to his 1,000th game in charge. I think tomorrow's game. Wow. So he's decent. But
he's a solid manager.
Yeah. Is he ultimately going to be in charge of these players in January? I don't know. Is he going to be in charge when they start bringing in all these players that they potentially could bring in? Sean, do you think that there's going to be any influence from takeover for tomorrow?
Well, certainly the atmosphere that the fans will produce, which is usually good anyway, will be, you know, up to 90, as they say, and they'll want to have effect. But I think if we score first, I think we'll just puncture their bubble, and then, you know, we can take the points. I think the key thing is that we turn up, you know, we don't give them 15 minutes of letting them play around. We get stuck in. I mean, can you really say there's a Newcastle player, or apart from maybe Sir Max Millet? I can never say his name.
Sir Max.
Yeah, him. He's the only player that I would have in my team. You know, yeah. All the rest of them are really quite journeymen. Yeah. I would say that, you know, as long as we've got a decent team, and obviously we're speculating on a couple of COVID tests at the moment, but you know, I think we've got more than enough to beat them. We just need to score first and start on the front foot, you know, a few crunching tackles, you know, and you know, just start peppering their goal like we did against Villa the other week, you know.
That's how we've got to start off, haven't we? We've got to start off strong. I know we didn't start off strong against Villa, really, did we? It took us time to get into the game. Against Newcastle, I think if we set the tone and dictate play from the off and take the game to them, I think that back line it'll crumble. That back line's not going to hold up for 90 minutes without conceding.
I know what you're saying, Sean, about St. Maximin probably being their most influential player. Me and Mike have had this debate before. I think Callum Wilson's an influence in this game if he plays. I do really think he's a decent forward, a player that he could ultimately be maybe a second striker for us if that was a potential behind Harry Kane. So I think with the influence of the fans as well, it ain't going to be an easy game. Just a couple of the comments here. So just to look at Jude's comment here. Head to the players have COVID. Do we know who? So we're thinking and speculating. I think here also Lloyd Hughes has probably got this right. Yeah. It appears that Sonny and Gill may be the two players that we're expecting to have COVID, so they may not be in tomorrow's lineup. And Nuno was very, as always, he's very coy in his replies. He doesn't give away a lot in his press interviews.
Hey, very coy. I like that pun.
Nothing gets past you, Sid. Nothing gets past you.
There is talk, though, that Sanchez is having to isolate.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, 10-day isolation. There is talk about that. I saw it this morning. I can't remember where I saw it, but yeah, there's talk about Sanchez being or having to isolate because Colombia they're on the red list still, or something along those lines.
Why couldn't Harry Winks be the one that has to be isolated?
So he might be. Like it might be.
Hey, come on, lay off Winksy.
We got another Winksy fan in the house here. Come on, Sean. He's had enough. Anyway, let's not get into that. That's not part of this show. This is a preview show about tomorrow's game. Let's do that on another one. Let's have a look at the ultimately the league form. So the game tomorrow, obviously we had 3 defeats in a row. Won the last game, which takes us above them lot, which is all that matters at this moment in time, early part of the season. But you can see there's not too much difference between us and top. Chelsea being at top 16 points, we're on 12 points now. I'm not suggesting that we're in with a chance of winning the title, but all the doom and gloom that surrounded Spurs over the last few weeks with the 3 defeats in a row, we're sitting in 8th, 4 points off top, 7 games gone. You can't
be too downhearted about that. I mean,
100%.
A win could take you. Well, it could easily, depending on other results. I mean, you could argue it could take you 3rd. I know Man City likely to win, Man United like to win, but I mean, you could easily say if results go our way, we could find ourselves 6th or 5th.
United have got Leicester today, so that's not going to be an easy time.
No, exactly. And ultimately what you want to do is just keep in contact, you know.
Yeah.
Win your games. You know, when there's only a 4
Exactly.
points difference, you win your games, you stay that 4 points. It's just getting them results and getting the performances. I think we're now looking at performances. I didn't even get Newcastle on there. Newcastle being 19th, as Sean has already said.
They've not won. Do you know
They
what
won a
though,
game
right?
this season.
No, they haven't won a game yet. No.
So are we
They
going to
haven't won
be
a game
Dr.
yet.
Tottenham? Are we going to be Dr. Spurs tomorrow? Let's be real, because we seem to be Dr. Spurs to a lot of teams. You know, nobody seems to be winning, and then Spurs show up and we'll see you now, and then they always seem to play really well. Again, this is my concern about tomorrow, not because they're a better team than us, but 52,000 fans who are ultimately now celebrating. They've got rid of Mike Ashley, as we've mentioned already. They've got new potential owners coming in. It's going to be a really, really great environment there. So I've been to there a few times, and it's a great ground in any sense. But when the Newcastle fans are up for it, they really are. Do you think there's going to be a big influence, Sean, by the fans for tomorrow?
Well, of course, the fans will have a say. I mean, they'll probably start very well, but as long as we hold them at bay, that defensively we're strong, and then as Mike has already indicated, they've got a back four which is porous. I mean, it's no excuse. It's there's no reason to see why they haven't won a game this season, is it? Because they're defensively they're just very poor. I think we've got players that will exploit that, and what a chance for Harry Kane to get his league account underway. You know, I mean, he loves scoring up there, so I imagine that he'd be licking his lips, thinking, well, this is the day, and we'll puncture their, as I say, we're going to puncture their balloon tomorrow, and let them realise that it's a long way to competing with Manchester City and Liverpool at the top of the table. They have to concentrate on finishing 17th or 16th or whatever it is to avoid the drop at the moment.
To be fair though, I know a couple of Newcastle fans, and they're like, they don't care how the results go, as long as they stay in the Premier League and they've got no Mike Ashley. They've won. They've won in their eyes already. They've got rid of Ashley. That's all they care about. They've got their football club back. If they lose tomorrow, I honestly don't think they'll be too sort of like the world's going to end and it's all going to go catastrophically wrong, because I think they know that things are going to take time for it to improve and get better. And that is going to be overnight.
Yeah, but could you imagine if we hand their backside to them? If we really give them a doing, Warrior, I would love it. For all sorts of political reasons, more than anything. Good for Nuno.
I would love it. Are you doing old Kevin Keegan there? What's with this influence? Hey, we spotted that one, Sean. I would love it.
I would love it.
I think I was only an echo of Mike there, by the way.
You know what? I personally think Newcastle fans will just be happy, even if they avoid relegation by 1 point, even if they avoid it by 1 goal. They're not bothered as long as they're in the Prem and then they start afresh from next season, slowly. I personally think the fans are not bothered. Like Sean said, if they get beat tomorrow, I don't think it's going to be a meltdown. I think it's just going to be, well, you know what? We've got a new manager in. New owners. It will only get better, won't it?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, these are the last 5 games against them in the Premier League. 2-2 the last time out at St James's Park. Draw before that at Spurs. But we've had a pretty decent run against them. 1 loss in 5. 2 wins, 2 draws. Does that have any influence tomorrow? Can you see... Well, again, depends on the team, because I'm not sure if they've had a major impact from the international break, because maybe we have. I'll come to the Nuno press interview in a minute, but basically we had to put in a lot of under 23s to supplement the training over the last couple of weeks. So do you think that Newcastle may be a bit more of an advantage for the game tomorrow because of that? Who wants to answer that? Let's go.
I don't think so. I don't think, you know what? The squad is what the squad is. Whether they've got international players or not, they've still got to train. We've still got to train. You've got to prepare for the match that's ahead of you on the day. And I've always said this, right? No matter who you play, where you play, and we're the team where, I think I mentioned it to you boys yesterday. If a team hasn't got a manager, team's lost a manager, new manager, they've never scored a goal, they've not won in 300 games, they can't whatever. We seem to be the team that everyone comes to and ups their game. So it's the form and everything goes out the window. It's when you turn up, who turns up, and basically you just play. And if you play to your strengths and you play as a team and as a unit, you've just got to do the job. You know, it doesn't matter if you're going into this game and you've not won like Newcastle have. All right, we've won 3, lost 3 or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's, you know what, how revved up the boys are on the day, and they're going to be well revved up. But I think it'll be a decent game. It's just whoever's up for it and whoever wants the 3 points.
Yeah, ultimately. Mike, I know we talked about the Newcastle fans being the influence and, you know, the international break. Is that going to help? Which I don't think is going to help us. And based on the fact that we've got a lot of players out already, we had a lot of players out. How might the game go after, let's say if Newcastle go ahead? How do you think they might approach the game? Is it a case of, you know, they're just going to sit back? Ultimately, they're going to try and come out at us. I don't know what their game plan might be with Steve Bruce.
If Newcastle go ahead, I fully expect them to try and close up shop, because the fear that they would have is that if they leave themselves open, they'll get exploited, and they will. That back line defensively, Newcastle are not. They're like it's a tap. You're not going to be able to just switch that tap off and all of a sudden they're going to stop leaking goals. So if they score, especially if they score early doors, I think it'll be very much backs against the wall for them, and they'll just be trying to defend the 18-yard box. A bit like, I tell you what, it reminded me of a bit like the Watford game. That's what I would foresee if they scored first. But providing that we've got our full sort of side, if we can put a full side out, i.e. like the game against Aston Villa, we will create. If we can create 20-odd chances against Aston Villa, there's no reason on this planet that we can't create similar chances against this Newcastle side. As I say, Steve Bruce isn't going to be able to work wonders, or isn't going to be able to work wonders after after 1 week with new owners. I just don't buy into the fact that all of a sudden they're going to be this team who are going to be sort of battering us as such. And I know I'm probably making a lot of my own back here by saying this. So tomorrow they'll probably end up battering us, and I'll be regretting everything I'm saying at the moment. But in all honesty, I just even from, I mean, the only threat they've got is what's his name at right wing?
Maximus.
Maximus. Is it Maximus? Maximus.
Maximan.
I call him Maximus.
say Maximan. He's their only real, as far as I'm concerned, he's the main threat. I don't even know if he's playing tomorrow. I did see sort of contradicting reports that he was playing or he wasn't fit. I don't really know that. I mean, I'm going with the basis that he probably will be fit. But if you keep him quiet, Callum, we've mentioned this before about Callum Wilson. If we've got Romero, Dyer, if we've got an all-back line, if we're playing that 4-2-3-1, I honestly don't foresee Callum Wilson being too much of an issue.
Okay, well, we're going to get to the team in a bit. I want to touch on Nuno's press conference. It's about 9 minutes long. His press conference is getting shorter and shorter by the week. We've gone from, Jose being asked a question and probably taking about 10 minutes to answer it to Nuno taking 10 seconds. Ultimately, I think we've all discussed, if he gets it right on a pitch, it doesn't really matter. But he just seems a little bit, I don't know, under a lot of pressure. And one of the questions that was asked of him, he's been in charge now 100 days. And the question was asked, how have you found this 100 days? What's it been like for you? I'll answer that question of you guys in a minute. But this is what Nuno had to say when asked that.
You'd hoped and as challenging as you'd expected?
When I joined, I didn't know what to expect. So I live day by day.
Speechless.
What I can say to you is it's been hard 100 days with good moments, bad moments, but it's part of the job.
Yes, that was how he answered how he felt it has gone so far, the 100 days in. The first part of it, I'm not quite sure. I didn't know what to expect because I think he should have known what to expect. This is the job that, you know, ultimately a lot of press coverage goes around Spurs, and obviously seeing the influences of Jose Mourinho and Poch before that. So I wasn't quite when he said that. But how do you think his 100 days have been, Sean, so far?
I think he's had to deal with an awful lot, you know, and because of that, I'm prepared to, you know, give him the time. Do we want a manager who, you know, waffles on in press conferences and doesn't do the business on the field as increasingly Jose did last season?
Exactly. Yeah.
Or do we want a manager who's polite and to the point and says, you know, I mean, I have to work hard, and we need to work hard, and you know that's all I want from my players. I want my coach, but I want my players to work hard. And for some of those for those 3 London derbies, with the exception maybe of the first half against Chelsea, they didn't work hard, you know, and they obviously let him down, you know. So I mean, he's had some tough moments. He's gone from manager of the month to, you know, everyone wants him out. Let him find his time. I mean, I thought he had a great formation against Villa. It suits the players of the squad we've got. Yeah, I'm quite happy for him to be short and brusque, if you like, in the press conference. What impresses me is if he stamps his authority on the field. That's the bit that a coach needs to do.
And ultimately, you're right in that. The problem with that sometimes, Sean, is when things are going well, you can do that. You can have that sort of bit more of an arrogance and dismiss the press. When things are not going so well, they put him under pressure. And sometimes I think if he just, not so, I don't want him to come out smiling and doing cartwheels, but just to give a little bit more of the things. He comes up the same sort of, well, it's normal, and you know, we're not sure, we're going to wait till tomorrow. And it's like, well, come on, just give us a little bit more. Josh, I'm going to read out your comment here. It's like when you want to tell your missus she's putting on weight, but you don't know. And that's in reference to him saying that Nuno looks like a dead man walking at time. Josh, you're having some fun today, aren't you? Mike, how do you think these 100 days have gone so far then?
I think he's done an okay job so far. I mean, he's won as many as he's lost. I think there's still a lot for him to do, and I'm sure he and Parat, they know that themselves. I mean, they're professionals, and they should know better than us. So yeah, I think he's done an all right job. I think there's some sort of stability there within the side. I think he just needs to realise what formation suits the players that he has at his disposal. Once he's worked that out, I think you'll start seeing, or we will start seeing, results or more results go our way. And I think it's no coincidence I think it was the last 2 games for Spurs, we played that 4-2-3-1, and we won both those games, didn't we? So yeah, I'm always of that mindset of, you don't change a winning team unless you absolutely have to. If you've got a formation that seems to be like, well, I've played this formation the last 2 games, it's going well, keep it as it is. Keep the players. If you've got the players at your disposal and they can play, don't change something if you don't have to. So that's my sort of take on that. I think he's done what he's had. I think he's done what he's had to do so far. I mean,
I think you're right. I think there's been a lot of focus because of the Harry Kane situation. He's had to deal with that, not knowing, that's not helped. You know, we had a good start, but not playing well. Performances weren't great, but we were getting the results. Then the performances weren't going great, and the results weren't going. So he's had to deal with a lot. Ultimately, as you said, Mike, I think he's changed his thinking in terms of his tactical approach and his formation approach. Sid, the 100 days, I can see Sid Jr. in the back there. He's influencing you. What's Sid Jr.'s thought in the back? What about the 100 days so far? Oh, he's frozen. Ultimately, the Godfather. That looks like the Godfather look. He's giving me one of them looks, so we'll have to come back to see when he definitely comes.
You're talking to me.
You're talking. Oh, what do we do on this show? This is absolutely wild.
That's got that. I'm going to clip him up later.
That's definitely a clip up. Just read a few comments here. I'm just about willing to give him one more time. Adam, Spurs debate, see you this summer. I don't think that will last long. Josh, again, he's building a template and nearly got there with formation players and tactics. He needs time. Yeah, ultimately, all managers need time. I think we all agree with that. Let's look at the previous team that lined up against Villa. And this is the starting formation that we had at the time. Lloris in goal, fresh off his Nations Cup victory, holding up the trophies in his Spurs shirts. I like when I saw that picture come out on Twitter. Emerson right back, Romero, Dyer, Reguilon, Højbjerg and Skip were in the two. We had Dembele in front. Mora, Kane, Kane and Son. We know that we might have a bit of an influence on this team with some of the potential missing. But Sean, ultimately from this team, who would you like to definitely see tomorrow if they're fit and available?
Well, I'd like the whole, from Lloris to the whole back four, and probably Højbjerg and Skip. In fact, probably all of it, with the exception maybe of Ndombele, who I'd replace with Lo Celso. This just for this game.
It's not a bad shout.
It's not a bad shout, and I think I genuinely believe the international break will have an influence on selections because some of these players are coming back today, the South Americans. So Davinson Sanchez, Romero, Lo Celso, and who's the fourth?
Emerson.
One more. Emerson. Yeah. So they're all coming back and should land in the country today. He did mention that in his press conference that they'll all be in training today. He did go on to mention that. A bit of tongue in cheek. He said some players have gone away and played. Some players have gone away and all they've done is sleep and eat. And in reference to Sanchez, who didn't play at all and has gone flying off all around the world. I think that might play into him maybe starting tomorrow alongside Dyer. Dyer wasn't obviously away for internationals. He's not in England squad. But then it's going to be a toss up. You're going to play someone like Emerson and Reguilon, who both were away on international duty. I know that Højbjerg was. Skip played in the under-21s. Ndombele, I think, will start. Again, wasn't involved in the France squad. I'm not sure about Mora. Did he go away? I don't think he did he?
No. He went to Paris.
He
went to Paris because he met up with Vinicius.
So he had a good time.
They had a good time, yeah.
Okay, we're not looking like Son's going to be playing tomorrow. And ultimately, I think regardless, Harry Kane will have to play. I think he needs to find some form. If we had everybody available, and I'll ask this question. I'd like to ask this question. I'll ask Mike first, then come to you, Sean. Would you consider dropping Harry Kane for tomorrow if everybody was available?
Not a chance.
Only in it. Okay.
I'd never drop him. Never. Not unless he needed to, just for to give him some rest and stuff. But I mean, he didn't play every game during the international break, so he should be fairly fresh in my eyes. And why I never get this, why people say, "Oh, drop Harry Kane, his heart's not in it, or he's not interested." I honestly disagree massively about that. Harry Kane, if he's going through bad form's temporary and class is permanent, and you put the ball in his path in front of goal, he will find the back of the net 9 times out of 10, even if he's in bad form. Even if he's disinterested, he'll still hit the back of the net because that's what Harry Kane does. So if he's fit, he's available, he's fit and fresh. Yeah, he plays. He plays all day long in my team.
I definitely agree with you. We wouldn't have gone through all the saga of the summer to keep a player. I know it's got to be down to him to put the performances together, but to ultimately say we're going to bench him now. I think he needs to find form. He hasn't scored for England for a little while, and I think it is a matter of time. But as long as he has got that real desire to prove himself, not to prove himself, it's the wrong phrase, but certainly wants to play and score them goals. Ultimately, he's got records he's chasing, isn't he? Yeah.
The only thing I'd say on the back of that as well is last season, I'm pretty certain it was last season, it took him 7 games, like the first 7 games before he hit the back of the net. So this will be his 7th game at Newcastle on Sunday. So if he scores, he's on track with what he did last season. So to put that into a bit of context, there, I don't see what everyone else is seeing with regards to Harry Kane myself.
Well, we've got a few comments here. I'll come back to you, Sean. Josh is saying, sell Harry Kane for 100 mil, replace with Rafinha and Vlahovic for me. I'd replace Dyer Roden for this game. That's just talking about the team. Sorry, what was you going to say, Sean?
No, I mean, I understand, there's the way we were quite fluid in the game against City on the opening day of the season, and we had no Kane. And, we did attack, the champions of England. So I can understand why people are calling for that. But no, Kane for me every day. He's gonna score, and nothing will please him more than scoring against the Gallagher end and shutting up some Jodis tomorrow. Probably his biggest critics. Well, apart from the ones on Liverpool, it seems. But yeah, no, Kane plays for me. As I say, the only change I would make would be Ndombele and for Lascelles. But obviously, it's down to Nuno and down to injuries. I did understand, Sam, from Nuno's press conference that Bergwijn's available.
Yes, he said Bergwijn's been training and trained well, has been reintegrated fully with the group. So he may, again, because he hasn't played for a little while and hasn't been away on international duty, obviously, he may have an influence tomorrow. I'd like to see Bergwijn play because I think up to the point he did get injured, he was a very positive influence. I know he wasn't getting the goals and maybe the assists that people want to see from him, but he was causing more problems. And he looks a lot trimmer, a lot fitter than he ever has in the last year or so that he's been at Spurs. So ultimately, if he's available and he can play, he's going to give us something else that maybe we do need with the likes of possibly Kane and Gil being out. Sorry, Kane, with Son and Gil being out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a carrier, and we need people to carry the ball. If you're going to attack Newcastle, you need to, have someone who's comfortable carrying the ball. And I think Bergwijn is that, and if, sadly, if Sonny is not available, then I think he's more than capable replacement.
Yeah. Well, let's come to the best part. Let's just read a few comments first before we come to the best part. So we've got here Adam Bergwijn on the bench tomorrow. So hopefully, that'd be a good shout. Like Ronaldo, we have to accommodate him. We both two of the best, and we need to accommodate them. Are we talking about Harry Kane there? Is that what you're talking about? I think
so. Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's...
you can't keep chopping and changing centre-back pairings. Stick with Romero and Dyer. Let them develop and understand it. And that is 100% the truth. The only downside to that is we've got a player that's coming back after doing his international duties. He's only going to land back in the country today. We've got players that haven't been away, like Joe Rodon. Did he go away with Wales? He may well have done. But we've got players in and around the team and squad that maybe haven't had as much air travel that might play into the selection. I hope not, but you never know. Mr. Silver Fox watching Toon Army. He's going to be supporting the Toon. Thanks, Tony, for that. Let's get into this part then. I like this one. This is Mike's favourite part of the show anyway. Score prediction. We've lost Sid and Junior Sid, but I'm going to take your score predictions down, Sean and Mike as well. And let's come to Sean first, and then I'll come to Mike, and I'll go last on this one. Sean, ultimately, what do you think the score is going to be tomorrow?
I think I'm quietly confident, and I'm going to go Newcastle 1-3 Tottenham.
Oh, that's a big call. That is a big call, Sean. That's a big call. 3-1
to us.
Any goal scorers in there?
Yeah, Kane with all of them.
If Kane got a hat-trick tomorrow, that would literally shut a lot of people up.
It definitely would. 100%
He would silence a vast majority of this country from a football fan perspective. But
100% agree.
That's a big shout, Sean. That's a big shout.
It's a big shout, but it's a good one. It's a good shout. Go on in, Hotspur Hustler. Tell us.
The only reason, if there wasn't a takeover that had just happened, I'd probably feel confident in that sort of scoreline, Sean. But I'm going to go 2. I'm going 2-0 Tottenham.
Ooh, I thought you was going to say 2-1 then.
Nah,
that's going to not be very happy. But 2-0.
The only reason I'm going with a clean sheet is, again, I don't know if I I don't know who's going to be playing tomorrow from Newcastle, but if their star boy's not there, they're Saint Minimum. I saw someone put Saint Minimum,
Saint Minus as well. I saw Saint Minus.
I saw quite.
That was another brilliant one.
I was like, yeah, fair play. If he's not playing, I struggle to see where Newcastle will create chances from. So yeah, I'm going 2-0 Tottenham, and do you know what? I'm going to go with a Kane brace.
Oh dear! So far, Kane's got 5 goals out of everybody so far. 3 from Sean. He's got nobody else on the scoreline. So we're going to put a brace there for Mike. And we're joined by the Godfather. He's back in the house. You talking to me? He's here.
My phone just went into meltdown. I've no idea, but if the Russian billionaires or what if the Saudi billionaires are watching, I need a new phone by the looks of it. So please, can you get me a new phone? It just went off.
Yeah, we saw you was frozen, but your facial expression when you froze was class. It was classic. Mike's he's gonna click that up for you. He's gonna click that out for you. Yeah, watch out for that one. But he's joined at the right time, so we're going to come to you, Sid. Ultimately, what are you thinking is going to be the score for tomorrow?
Do you know what? Honestly, it's. I want us to win, but 52,000 screaming mental Jodis tomorrow, all singing, all praising Saudis, and obviously singing whatever they got to sing about Ashley. They're going to be so boisterous and boisterous on the pitch. I think Newcastle will be up for it. I think Brucey's a dead man walking, and it could be his final team talk tomorrow. It could be, so I just hope he doesn't go in there and say, guys, it's only Tottenham. Yeah, just go and play. It's only Tottenham. But Son's definitely not playing tomorrow, is he? Son's out, right?
Is that actually confirmed, though?
Not on the Spurs official. It's not a Spurs official.
Not officially, is it?
No.
Nah.
I'm just going. But if he's got it. So what's the prediction so far? What have you guys said? So, I heard something about Kane.
Hustler's gone through. I'll start with Sean's first. Sean's gone Newcastle 1, Spurs 3, Kane hat-trick. Hustler's gone Newcastle 0, Spurs 2, Kane brace. So far, we've got no other scorers. What are you saying, Sid? What are you telling me?
What are you saying?
What are you saying? Well, I'm saying...
I'm on. Hey,
I'm saying...
You think I'm funny?
Yeah. You talking to me? You talking to me?
You talking to me? Do I amuse you?
Honey?
Oh, dear.
You think I'm a comedian? Anyway, I'm saying, right, I honestly, I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I've said this before, but I'm going to go with 2-1 to Spurs.
2-1. Goal scorers, you want to chuck anybody in?
I shall chuck in Ndombele.
Ooh. Hey?
Yeah.
And your boy Deji ain't playing tomorrow.
No, you never
Just
let me
saying.
finish.
You got to let him finish first. Go on then.
Deli's going to assist. Yeah.
That's Deli now. He's ringing his Sid. Deli on the phone.
That's
Sid. I'm not actually playing tomorrow, Sid. So get that out of your mouth.
You see? And I think it's going to be Lucas Moura. I don't think Kane's going to score.
Okay. So you've gone 1-2 as well. Not as well, but you've gone 1-2 with a Spurs win. Let me just come from the comments here. So there's a few comments going around. So let's get to a few of them. So we've got 3-1 Spurs here. Harry Kane isn't the be-all and end-all. We should not be reliant on him. Derek's saying 2-0 to the Newcastle. That's not very nice, Derek, is it? Here we've got Kuva 1-0 to the perfect chance to be Spursy and lose again before they've even started spending the money. That's not very nice here. Early goal to shut Jodi crowd up. Newcastle 2, Spurs 4.
Wow.
As Josh is saying, if we go ahead before half-time, we win 2-0. And if they go ahead, it's a draw. Oh, I was thinking a little bit more positivity here, but
we're playing Newcastle. We don't play like the fans ain't going to win in the game. Yeah, I know you can say that. I know people can go back with, oh, look at the Crystal Palace game, but Crystal Palace are far better than Newcastle. Let's be honest there.
Yeah, but everyone, see, this is the problem, innit? It's like you said, it's only Newcastle. It's not only Newcastle, it's Newcastle, but they're playing Spurs, and when you're not winning and you're playing shit and whatever, who better to play than Spurs? We never ever go there, and we're battering teams. We're like sort of on the edge, we're on the edge of glory. But anyway,
see, you've sung "We're gonna win," mate. You've just spelled out a tune, mate. We are gonna win. Every time you belt a song out, we win, mate.
Every single time. Sean, bring the guitar on next time. Play him a tune, and we'll put something together live on air, just strumming in the background. We've definitely got to do something because this is getting silly now. The amount of songs requests we're getting for Sid to sing every week is getting absolutely.
I think it's getting
mad.
We should be number 1 in the charts. Paxton Road.
But listen, but what we've got to remember, is as a unit, Paxton Road, we're together forever and never to part. Together forever we do. And don't you know how we'll move heaven and earth to be together forever with Paxton.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, viewers.
Oh my God.
I'm ultimately very, very sorry.
I thought this was a serious channel.
Oh dear me. I think we've definitely been on too long today. I haven't even got my score prediction out. Let me get my score prediction out and leave before the viewers start leaving in jokes thinking this is top of the pops or something. It's not. It's still Paxton Road TV. I can
1-0.
Again, I'm going to go 2 results here. I think it's going to be a tough game. I really do. And if Newcastle just show up and they get the influence from the crowd, the crowd's not playing, I know that, but they're going to have an influence, at least that 5% extra additional, effort that I think the players may put in, being at home as well. I was going to say ultimately 1-1, but I think Spurs can nick it. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. I'm going to go 2-1.
Who's your scorers, though?
Oh, right. This is where it's going to be funny. I'm actually going to think. I'm going to think that. Hold on. I think that. I am. I was going to say.
Don't ditch yourself, mate.
I don't know why I'm doing it, but I think he's going to play tomorrow. Something's telling me that Deli's going to play tomorrow, and I think he's going to pop up with a goal. Who else, Mark? I think Mora. I think I'm going to go with Mora. So I'm going to go Deli Mora. I'm not going to go with the Kane rhetoric. Although I'd like Kane to score tomorrow. Obviously, I'm going to go with Deli Mora. But it all depends who plays tomorrow. But yeah, your man, Sid. I'm looking forward to seeing Deli.
Man. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
I tell you what. If he scores, I'll sing.
No, you won't sing anything.
Not now. If you just score next time we're on, and if it is, I'm going to sing George Michael's "I'm Your Man" for you.
Definitely, sure. We're gonna make sure you bring that guitar on. I know you were strumming some strums the other time, and that was great. So we'll have some of that. Definitely have some of that for next time. Just a few more comments here. You guys do your Jodi best accent. Come on, before you leave. I'm not trying that one. I'm not going to do it. Anybody want to volunteer for a Jodi accent?
If
Got it, Mike.
If we win tomorrow, I'll try.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Cooper saying if Deli plays, I'll change my prediction from 1-0 to Newcastle to 2-0 to Newcastle. Ed, as long as we don't give Newcastle players time on the ball, the crowd shouldn't matter. That's very true. If Deli plays, it will be Palace all over again.
Oh, don't say this. If we go 4-3-3 tomorrow, then I think the comments they've got a point. But if we're going 4-2-3-1. I can't see us ending up like a Crystal Palace game.
No. Well, guys are going to leave now, but I just wanted to say just a quick thing, a bit of a sad news. Obviously, I had a close friend of mine die recently. I just want to shout out, rest in peace to Keaty General. Big influence on a football panther group that we've got, and loads of people are absolutely gutted over this weekend coming. But ultimately, we've all got to be strong, and this is what I'm saying. We're doing this. This is enjoyable to do, but we've got to think of the big wide world out there. It's not very nice, but we have got football to look forward to tomorrow. So let's look forward to it, guys. Mike, Sean, and the Godfather, Goodfellas, Sid. Ultimately,
I like the first one,
the
Godfather.
Godfather. That's probably more true. The Godfather sin. I'll have that one as well now. Come on then, two more. But no, it's been a real pleasure. Let's ultimately come on, you Spurs, for tomorrow. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I hope you've enjoyed what we're doing, and we're just going to continue on. Thank you for getting us to 1,000 subs. We will have merchandise, memberships, all the rest of it coming. We want to bring to you as much as we can going forward. And I'm going to put him on the spot, but I was looking to try and maybe influence Sean to get some sort of historical show. He's got so much knowledge of Spurs, but that's him. That's maybe for the future. One to talk about. I've only put you on the spot there, Sean. But anyway, time to go.
Very much.
That's all right.
Come on,
It's
you
live.
Spurs.
All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.